Run the league and let y'all play, cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't coming here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in their image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and a curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play, cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't coming here on cargo slave ship. What the fuck he do for blacks in his administration? I'm waiting, patient like a saint. Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate your ass the same. Paint Christ in their image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love, scriptures say he hate. African soul niggas, they know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the sink. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We living bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gift and a curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, this shit is absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gon' work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under your honor, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from your honor. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priest bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, ranking order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ice agents. I got the name change, it was life changing. My family thought it was a game. Put on all black, they said I was going through a phase. There's more of us in jail than it was slaves. Chose by the Lord, we could never be the same. Soon as they born, the wicked go astray. They left the truth, they wasn't with us anyway. Niggas weak, they just saying anything to be truthful. We don't want no cowards anyway. Look, coronavirus, that's a plague. You don't get too much sleep when you waking up the dead. first camp, I cut off all my dreads. I took an oath when that oil hit my head. Niggas capping like they lids. I'm a priest, I never stick no fork in no pig. I was dead till I found out how to live. This brotherhood taught me how to be a man. I came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church. Came back to my roots, I had to dig. A couple gaps I had to bridge. I got a rib, I'm married to this work. You wanna serve the Lord, he ain't in the Christian church.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my access. Yes, you said so.
Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every crack and surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was design 5 for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man, shit, nigga. They tear their head off, nigga. Okay, when Eve did the Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers can they spin, I ain't listening. Is in fact if revenge was a woman, now I stole that bitch like Jackie. So I war, we gonna run the summer. It's gonna be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand it. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young gang. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear. This shit life. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his gang, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
All right, this is Rooted Speech, man. We got Captain Tywar in the building.
Yeah. Who's that?
Yeah, so Cap, man, let us know where you from.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, man, on Rooted Speech, man.
One who has fed it,
one who has pumping through my blood,
don't forget it. One who West in my brain, one who West in my heart, one who West when I finish, one who West when I start. Big shine. Big glow, I be gone till November, let my bitch know. I'm back by the winter, bubbling like Crisco. I need my pockets all swollen like a lymph node. Talking out the side of your neck, get you a slit throat. I stay broke, don't care if I got $1 million. Looking down on me, I put your brains on the ceiling. Fuck kicking down the door, we bout to demo the building. Fake cats all in these groups, I wonder who ya. Shoot ya off your pulpit, hallelujah. 4-pound gun young and down like it's a cougar. On my feet, combat boots, or is it Puma? Words spreading around about me, none of it rumor. All truth, very big facts, very large caliber on very small gaps. Compact pistols, ladders, and all that. About to throw the switch in the Nina for rapid fire. Got the 5.7 equipped with the magnifier. Boom shakalaka equipped with the rim rocker. We ain't really got beat, yeah, Ramak with a bin shot ya. The best rhymer, Synth Pac and Big Papa. Big llama, big juice, I'm Big Jamba. Quarter tank of gas, I ride like a big timer. No informer, no sweat, not in China. My conglomerate wreck like King Kong. No Asian pun me, no chink in armor. Remain calm through our pain that bring drama. Stay focused on things that bring commas. Took all pressure, applied and made diamonds. Stayed true, kept shit pure, my name honored. Paid all dues and debts and kept promise. Make sure you show respect. Pay homage, I'm one West bred. One West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the hottest on the market, don't make me start it. I'ma pull up in a Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I remember days was trapping out the apartment. Now One West might put me up in a starship. About to fly the friendly skies in this bitch. Spit the truth on the corners, I lie a little bit. I'm a stand-up nigga, I die before I switch. Down, no we up, I'm cool with who I with. I'ma be war the king and stay dangerous. Hold down the biz and fam, remain blameless. Now rappers drippy with styles we made famous. First with studs and spikes in any city. Designers charge a stack for shit that can't fit me. Had printers on my coattail way before Jimmy. Funny how the general ain't even see a penny. Better show respect, get smoked like a chimney. Keep my name out your mouth, don't even think it. Send a real Smith at y'all, no Jada Pinkett. Both ball heads, my grain of up 50. Lost my man to the game, that pain that stuck with me. Had to find a cheat code to the street though, cause them niggas getting fouled, shoot you like a free throw. Keep spitting acid like a Mino, and a nigga be the nicest with a mean flow. Try to ride my wave, you gon' need a speedboat. I'm hot like 100 degrees in a peacoat. Scarf in the sweater, I embark every letter. Is UPK, not a park, but together. Homie, I've been One West bred, One West bedded, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, One West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, One West when I start. One West bred, One West bedded, One West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, One West in my heart. One West when I'm finished, One West.
Every single heathen nation on earth agrees that they are against us, agrees that they should cut us off from being a nation, agrees that they should eat off of us and destroy us. Why should America have my allegiance when they've taken crafty counsel against us? Now, originally, I said, where was the KKK for the Irish? The Irish were immigrants. Where was the group that hated them so much that they burned crosses in front of their... Every single heathen nation on earth agrees that they are against us, agrees that they should cut us off from being a nation, agrees that they should eat off of us and destroy us. Why should America have my allegiance when they've taken crafty counsel against us? Now, originally, I said, where was the KKK for the Irish? The Irish were immigrants. Where was the group that hated them so much that they burned crosses in front of their lawns? Where's that at? Oh, nobody knows? Oh, it don't exist. Oh, okay, thought so. Let's find out why.
Verse 5, but they have consulted together with what consent.
Because who has consulted? Every other race of people on the planet are in agreement with one thing: oppress black people, oppress Hispanics, oppress the natives of America. They agree on that. Read.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate. The Confederate States of America. Read.
Verse 6, the tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom, that's the so-called white man. That's the Europeans. That's the biblical name for them. That's our cultural term for our oppressor. Read.
And the Ishmaelites.
And the Ishmaelites, the Arabs. You understand? All of them. You understand? Every single one of them, the Ishmaelites, because Ishmael ain't get no goddamn covenant.
Right.
Read.
Of Moab.
Of Moab, the Chinese. Read.
and the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes, meaning every single heathen nation on earth, agrees that they are against us. Agrees that they should cut us off from being a nation. Agrees that they should eat off of us and destroy us.
Right.
They agree. You can't even agree with the brother that lives next door to you who's under the same oppression. We understand? Y'all, listen, even in Christianity, y'all can't agree. If I stand right here, how many steeples can I see just on this block? Y'all can't even go to the same church together. Y'all don't even have the same denomination. You know how many religions are on this corner right now? Like, I turn the block, I'm going to find an Egyptologist. I'm going to find an atheist. I'm going to find a Muslim. I'm going to find a Buddhist. I'm going to find every religion under the sun on this corner. We don't agree on nothing. That's why we so divided. We divided on age. We divided on sex. You know what I learned from that submarine implosion? The only thing that I learned is that we completely understand that it's the rich against the poor. You understand? Like we understand classism because that's the only thing that we could see in Babylon is money. We could only see vanity. We could only see riches. So when billionaires get on a submarine and go missing and turn into putty in the ocean, we care. You want to know why we care? Or why we didn't care, or why we didn't have compassion on them, and why there was jokes like, we got air up here, don't worry, it'll trickle down. Ain't that what the rich say? The rich say the money will trickle down to us. I ain't see a dime of that. I don't know what y'all talking about. Just like they ain't see a dime of that air. You understand? Until it was 10,000 degrees. That's what happens in an implosion. 10,000 degrees. The pressure comes in, you die in milliseconds. You know how many like nanoseconds it takes for your brain to comprehend pain? 30. You know how fast it was for them to disappear from existence? Less than 1. Even if I gave them 2, we still had 28 seconds left over before they would have even realized they were dead. You understand? And what I realized is all the blacks and Hispanics that was making fun of the death of the billionaires, they weren't doing it because it was black versus white. They were doing it because it's rich versus poor. But what we need to realize is that it is every race versus us. And all of these races have more resources than us. If we go sit at the table with any nation on earth, we are beggars. If we go sit at the table, now you're right, every single one of them will have leverage over us. Because what do we have to bring to the table? Basketball, we don't own the NBA. Football, we don't own the NFL. I mean, we're the reason why it's so successful. We're the reason why it's so entertaining. What do we own? You understand that Harlem is gone? How many black businesses are on this block right now? I only know of one. That one right over there, Caribbean Star. How many others? 2, 3? On the expanse of all 100 of...
Yeah, it's going down. It's going down. Once again, we live. Monday Night History Class. Wrap it up. Give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Let me get a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me loud and clear. It's definitely going down. Once again, we are live from ISUPK headquarters right here in Harlem, New York, man. and it's definitely going down. Monday night history class. Ooh, how we love history class, man. We just came off of a glorious weekend. The Northeast Cookout was a incredible success. Give that a hand, man. Big shout out to Commander General Yohana, man, Captain Tazariak, and all the brothers and sisters that was able to join us for the Northeast Cookout. It was definitely an amazing time, man. Love seeing the brothers and sisters from all around the country, man. A beautiful thing, man. One of my brothers came up. He was like, man, I love watching that history class on Monday. See, in New York, the word history has 3 syllables. History. I mean, down south, it's just history. Know what I mean? So, man, we had a glorious time, man. Beautiful food, beautiful weather. Know what I'm saying? Very, very amazing time, man, at the Northeast Cookout. Go ahead, sir. And to the microphone, Baba Kashar.
If I may, I don't know about you, but it seemed like we had a very good turnout of the actual community this year. Right, man. The brothers and sisters in the community really came out, man. Give Harlem a hand. Right. One thing.
Word.
If I could, in my youth, I used to go to a back to work program. There was a brother who used to go to that same program or used to hang out by it. He's on the streets or whatever. The thing is, he stays in Harlem around here. Every year since he's known me, I always talked about the truth before even coming in. And then once he saw me in the cookout, he knows every year to come. And I spotted him before he spotted me. And he just told all his men, he was with 2 other brothers, yeah, come over here. We gonna get some food. They always give out food to brothers. He saw me. He's like, oh, what's going on? What's good? And it's like, that's what we need. And it's
damn right.
Shows like our presence is being grown in this community.
Man, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, man. What a beautiful thing, man. What a beautiful thing. A miracle on 125th Street. That's what the ISUPK brings to the game in Harlem, man. We perform miracles on 125th Street. What a glorious day, man. What a glorious day. A glorious event. And unless Christ comes back, we will be right back in the same park, in the same spot next year to do it all over again for our people, man. Give us a hand and get a most higher hand. Yeah, man, it's definitely going down. Listen, man, if you can see my face, if you can hear my voice, grab your cell phone, open up your TikTok app, and go to HQ_Harlem. This is ISUPK's official TikTok, and we are certainly making noise all across the 4 corners of the earth, TikToking and pushing this truth like they push, I don't want to say it, I got my son here, but you know how we push this truth. Now, I mean, make sure you go to TikTok, HQ_Harlem, follow, subscribe, like every single post you see, comment. Come on, man. Come on, Israel. I need One West to come on and comment on some of these comments. Some of these people out here absolutely insane, man. Know what I'm saying? So make sure you check us out. Make sure you support, man. We right here in Harlem, man. We've been doing it here since 1969. Let's get them likes and shares up, man. Listen, man. Let me tell you something. We are moving into the era, man, in which, the online game is where it's at. I mean, like, we have to go out of our way and be diligent about supporting each other online. We have to be diligent about promoting events and promoting products and promoting things in the school in order to get the truth out, man. It's very, very important. You know what I'm saying? And so every single time you see a post, if it's coming from somebody in the school, if it's coming from somebody you recognize, if it's coming from a brother who you heard speaking on the street, who said something that touched you, what I'm saying, even for a little while, made you think, even for a little while, or most importantly, made you descend into a full-blown identity crisis, in which we will be discussing today. If you've ever had that experience, make sure you go online and support the priests and prophets in the ISUPK. I assure you it is one of the most important things we can do in this information era, man. So make sure you go on and check out HQ_TikTok, man. We getting it popping all day, every day on TikTok. Yeah, man. So if you take a look at the topic of today's class, it is identity theft. You know, we've been in Harlem since 1969. And since 1969, the ISUPK has made it its business to sensationalize the truth out of the Bible so that our people get a heavy dose of identity theft. Here in the ISUPK, we are in the process of invoking identity theft. It's Salakia, identity crisis, not identity theft. Sorry about that. But we are in the business of invoking identity crisis in Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. That is our job. When you walk past our camps and take a look at some of the camp signs the brothers put together, give them a hand. Well, here in HQ, we got Precinct Officer Shalaya Allah, man. Like, if you check out some of our camp signs, like he put together some of the most graphic and, some of the most shocking pictures that a person can see when they walk by on the street. Why is it that we go out of our way to put up the most shocking pictures so our people can see them on a bright and sunny Saturday afternoon walking down 125th Street? Why is that? Tell me, young man, why is that?
You want me to read the verse? You want me to read the book, sir?
No, I want you to answer the question. Tell me why you think that when you come outside and you see the camp signs, like you was at camp on Saturday, right? And you see the camp signs. Why you think the camp signs are big, bold, and bright, and they have shocking imagery and things to catch people's attention? Why you think we make the signs like that?
So that we could show the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community what the home of the truth is. Right.
Give him a hand, man. That's exactly what we're doing. We are out on the street teaching our people, man. And we are out on the street teaching our people in a way that may electroshock them into a full-blown identity crisis. So before we move further, man, let's quickly take a look at the definition of identity crisis. If someone could pull it up for me, Baba Kashar. We got Precinct Officer Abaji in the building. Give him a hand, man. Whenever you got it.
You ready?
Yeah. Identity crisis. What do we got?
Let me see if I can get you something a little more formal than this. Well, screw it. Let me just get you what I got. What is an identity crisis? An identity crisis happens at a time when some change makes you reevaluate who you are.
Say it again.
An identity crisis happens at a time when some change makes you reevaluate who you are.
When some change makes you reevaluate who you are. Any more on that?
Eric Erickson, a prominent. No, that's it.
That is what the priests and prophets in ISUPK do for a living. Online, in the streets, and everywhere else, we go out of our way to do what? Read it again.
Reevaluate who you are.
We want all Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to seriously and deeply reevaluate who they are. Right. It is the single most important thing a Black or Hispanic or Native American Indian man, woman, or child can do. reevaluate who you are. And the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, everything that we do, man, is to push the truth of this Bible in order to convict our brothers and sisters to reevaluate who they are. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. Go ahead, sir.
If I may, there you have 5 signs that you're going through. Would you like to read it or?
You want to go over the 5 signs? All right.
That's fine. It's funny.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go over the 5 signs.
Number 1, questioning your basic understanding.
You got to speak into the mic, sir.
Questioning your basic understanding of who you are.
Questioning your basic understanding of who you are. Keep going.
Feeling anxiety, agitation, or dissatisfaction with life.
Oh, listen, sir. Did you go through that when you went through your identity crisis?
The first thing I said when I saw the 12 chart was, yeah, that's who I'm with in the ghetto. That's who I'm with
right.
The unemployment line. Yeah.
Right. Like, I got to tell you, man, when I went through my shocking identity crisis, I had those same exact feelings. You know, keep going.
3, changing yourself to suit any environment, situation, or relationship.
Say it again.
Changing yourself to suit any environment, situation, or relationship.
Listen, man, our oppressor breaks these definitions down in a way for his people to understand. But let me explain something to you. When you come into the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, after having a shocking identity crisis, you begin to reevaluate every single thing that goes on in your life. You know, the process of not celebrating Thanksgiving, the process of not celebrating Valentine's Day, forget about it. Valentine's Day has shocked many of brothers back into the world.
Right.
You know, it is a very shocking process, man. You know, but one that is very much necessary. Keep going.
4, trouble answering questions about yourself.
Say it again.
This is the one that made me say,
right.
Trouble answering questions about yourself.
Say it again.
Trouble answering questions about yourself.
Listen, man. Listen, Officer Abijah has been on the streets for how many years now, sir?
Almost 9, sir.
Working the tables, how many years now, sir?
About 5, 6.
How many times have you spoken to a black or Hispanic who could not answer questions about his identity?
Right. I believe this is old, like Israelite Vibes old.
Right.
The old radio show.
Right.
What's your nationality? I'm a Christian.
I'm a Christian, man. Right. Listen, man, it is one of the most confusing things that you can ask a black man. What blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians need to realize is that this is all predicted in the Bible.
Right.
Like, you being the only one confused in your neighborhood about who you are is predicted in the Bible.
Right.
Like, let me tell you something, man. There is a Chinese restaurant right across the street over here on 3rd Avenue. You know what I mean? Like, you could go in there and ask any one of those Chinamen where they come from and who they come from, and they could very well retrace their roots all the way back to, you know, the Ming Dynasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, and keep in mind, you know, there's damn near 2 billion people over there. Like, we have to go back and ask ourselves, how is it possible that we are the only people who have to go through a full-blown identity crisis just to pinpoint who we are? You disgusting Christians,
that's right,
have made a mockery out of yourselves and out of our nation by repeating the lies of our oppressor, that color and race and identity does not matter in the Bible. I assure you, it is the only thing that matters in the Bible. It's the only thing that matters.
Right.
What a horrible thing to hear for some disgusting Christian to tell you that your race, the very thing that has determined every single iota of your life from the time that you was born to the time that you died, does not matter in the eyes of the Most High. It is a disgusting thing. And the only thing left for a young mind to ponder about after hearing that from the Christian church is, what the hell is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Because if race don't matter and everybody around me is doing better, then what the hell is wrong with me?
Right.
Go ahead, sir.
And if I may, since you're on that subject, because it's like race don't matter, but race is about what? Your genes and your genetics.
Right.
So if race and genes don't matter, then genetically speaking, the fact that I have alcohol problems in my family, that doesn't matter.
Right.
Like genetically speaking, okay. Now let's get off that. Let's deal financially. Let's deal class wise. I'm born inside of a racial group that's considered a lesser class.
Right.
In India, that is literally the case. You are born into a racial class, into a group, class group.
Right.
But race don't matter.
But race don't matter.
That's the white man's ideals. That's a lie that he teaches. He knows full well race matters.
Right. Race is the only thing that matters.
Right. Like, if I may, like here's how you know that he understands that race matters.
Right.
Civil wars happen all around the world all the time. The white man, if you pay attention to television, you might realize, oh crap, the Africans are kind of fighting each other.
Right.
The world had to stop. One white man, the Russians, are attacking another white man, the Ukrainians.
Right.
The white man understands what's called race matters.
Right. 100%, man. 100%. Everyone understands that race matters. Right. You know? It's important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians to understand that as well, man. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Not being able to trust that you can make good decisions.
Not being able to trust that you can make good decisions.
Right.
Man, give the officer a hand, man, for breaking down those 4 points from Erickson. And we're going to go over Erickson in a minute, as disgusting as he is, you know. But those are some excellent points to bring out, because those 4 points are experienced by every single Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian when they begin to hear the truth from the priests and prophets of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana. In order for you to regain your identity, Black man, you have to go through an identity crisis. You must go through an identity crisis. You must be confronted with the fact that you do not identify with the people who are telling you you should identify with. We are not all the same. We are far from the same. Some of you work downtown in these offices, man, amongst all these heathens. I used to work down there as well. And every so often they have these office parties, man, and they have these potlucks, you know? And, you know, if you worked in the office long enough and you go to one of these potlucks, man, you know what I'm saying? You'll see the Benjamite sisters bringing their stuff. You know what I'm saying? The Hispanic sisters bringing their stuff. The Black girls, you know what I'm saying? The Judite sisters bringing their food, they fried chicken and all of that. And then you'll see some damn African come in, you know, with her potluck. It's something crawling out of the goddamn pot. Like these East Indians coming in there with goddamn curry on every goddamn thing, curry donuts. Like, you go to these potlucks, don't eat out of the pots of these heathens. We're not the same.
Right.
Forget about it, man. These potlucks was disgusting. I used to go through that, man. Big shout out for the Northeast Cookout yesterday. Give that a hand, man. If you was at that Northeast Cookout yesterday, I assure you that every morsel of food you ate in that park was prepared by a Black, Hispanic, or Native American Indian. Give that a hand, man. Give me what you got over there, Ak.
Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For that art and holy people.
We're a holy people. We were intended by the Most High God to be separate from the nations around us. That is what the word holy means. It means to be separate from the nations around us. In order for us to be separate from the nations around us individually, black man, you have to go through an identity crisis. Your Christian pastor is not going through an identity crisis. Your Christian pastor reads the Bible and cannot identify with a single race of people or a single person in the Bible. That is the very definition of an identity crisis. Like, you're reading about the greatest man that ever walked the earth, Jesus Christ. Yahweh Mashiach in the Hebrew. You are reading about him in the Bible and picturing him as a Arabic man or a white man. You have to go through an identity crisis to shake that disgusting image out your mind and be separate from the disgusting devils that presented that image to our people in the first place. Keep going.
Unto the Lord thy God, the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
To be a what?
A special people.
To be a what?
A special people.
I'm special. You think I'm going to eat a curry donut with some disgusting East Indian walking around with a dot on her head? She's worshiping some elephant with 20 arms, and I'm going to eat out of her pot. We're a special people. Keep going.
Unto himself.
That's right.
Above all people.
Say it again.
Above all people.
Black man, we're above all people. Like, that alone should get you through the identity crisis. Your Christian pastor's message is, listen, you don't identify with nobody in the Bible, but just know that, race doesn't matter. Christ loves you, and just continue to struggle along until you become successful in our oppressor's world. That is a disgusting message for our people. That is not the gospel of Christ. Not by far. The priests and prophets in the ISUPK come to you with a message directly out of the Bible that says we are what? Above?
Above all people.
We're above all people. We are to be separate from them. In order to reach that stage, man, you have to be willing to go through an identity crisis, black man. You have to be willing to directly confront your identity in the Bible. This is about you and who you are. You have to be able to accept and meet head first with who you are and who your people are in the Bible. And then once you do that and come into the school and become an officer, we'll teach you how to teach all those other heathens who they are in the Bible as well, including our disgusting oppressor. You had a question, sir? Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 15, man.
Khan. I got it. Would you?
Most High in Christ. 28 and 15. Just hold that for a second.
All right, Khan.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, we do not have religion. We were not meant to have religion. We have a direct covenant and a direct contract, if you will, with the Most High God, the creator of all things. He chose us to be his special people above all people. He chose us to maintain rulership on the planet. And he also stated that if we failed to uphold his law, if we failed to listen to his words and obey his commandments, then we would not be in rulership. Read what you got.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses.
All these what?
All these curses.
All these what?
all these curses
keep going,
shall come upon thee.
All these curses have come upon us. Every single last one of them. Keep going.
And overtake thee.
And they have overtaken us. I mean, if you have to go through an identity crisis just to find out who you are, it's safe to say that these curses have overtaken you. Go ahead, brother.
If that don't prove the laws are not done away with, I don't know what will.
Right. Right.
It's crazy.
Right. 100%, man. 100%. Listen, man, it's a beautiful thing when we're able to go in the scriptures and directly pinpoint our position in this disgusting land, man. So when we take a look at our position here in America overall, some of the first things we begin to realize is that we do not know who we are. We are absolutely confused about who we are, not only in the Bible, but just in the world overall. This very confusion was predicted in the Bible. Salakia. And because these things are predicted in the Bible, it is a curse, of course, but ultimately our ability to come back and identify ourselves in the Bible based on these curses turns out to be a blessing, right? Let me get 28 and 37.
Khan. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
And a what?
An astonishment.
And a what?
An astonishment.
We have become an astonishment. We have most certainly become an astonishment. Like, people from all over the world look at blacks and Hispanics and like wonder what is wrong with these people. You know, they look at us and they are astonished. How could you not be with a group of people who still carry the names of the oppressors that enslaved them? Keep going.
A proverb.
A what?
A proverb.
A what?
A proverb.
Keep going.
And a byword.
And a what?
And a byword.
And a what?
And a byword.
That's what we are. We're a proverb and a byword, man. A proverb and a byword. Well, what's a byword? What's a byword? You don't even know. Like you go up to an Irishman and ask an Irishman, who are you? Where you come from? What is he going to say? He's going to say, I'm from Ireland. Like, go up to Conor McGregor and ask Conor McGregor who he is and where he comes from. And after he attempts to punch you in the face, you know, because he is a disgusting, violent Irishman, he's going to tell you that he is from Dublin, Ireland. And he's going to tell you how proud he is. And he is going to tell you how he can retrace his roots all the way back to the disgusting Vikings who used to sneeze snot in a bucket of water and then pass it around for people to drink. Horrible individuals they are. Yet, their people are very proud and know exactly who they are and where they come from. When you ask the average black man here in America who he is and where he comes from, what is ultimately his answer? That would depend on what era you live in. You know, like we used to be called Negroes. We used to be called, you know, African American, black, Negroes. You know what I'm saying? We call each other the N-word all day long. Next week, we'll be calling each other something else. Hispanics. First, there was Hispanics. Then that was too derogatory. Now they became, you know, Latinos. You know what I mean? But then the darker ones was like, nah, we want to be Afro-Latinos. So now they got the Afro-Latinos. You know? These are all disgusting bywords. Words to replace the true name that the Most High God gave us, which is Israel, after our father Jacob, man. That is who we are. But as a curse, we nor the people around us will acknowledge who we are. Keep going.
Among all nations.
Among what?
Among all nations.
Every single last nation. What nation do you know come over to the United States and say, hey, black people, we just want you to know that you're the Israelites, okay? You're God's chosen people, and you guys are set for rulership, you know? So I'm just going to bow down now and give you all the change out of this goddamn laundry machine, you know? And allow you guys to go be as great as you can. No, the Chinese man's not saying that. Neither are any of the other nations that come over here. Read the last part again.
Among all nations.
This is among all nations. Keep going.
Whither the Lord shall lead thee.
And the Most High led us into all nations on the planet. You are going to find our people scattered. All of these people who are scattered upon the planet, man, are the people who the priests and prophets, the disciples of Christ, have to go out and give a full-blown, massive identity crisis. A full-blown and massive identity crisis. You know? Like when you think about it along those lines, that is what the gospel is. The gospel is giving someone an identity crisis. This is what Christ and the disciples did. This is what the disciples were commanded to do. To go out to the lost sheep of the house of Israel and give them an identity crisis. Make them rethink the customs that they grew up practicing, the names that they were given. Make them rethink the gods that they worship, the holidays that they celebrate. Make them have a full-blown identity crisis. Only then, man, will they come back to their true identity. That is what the gospel is. The gospel is a full-blown identity crisis. You have something you want to say, Mapasa? Most High in Christ, man. Get me 64.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Say it again.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Say it again.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
Listen, man, the Lord has scattered us among all people. Like this was the case during the time of Christ. This is the case now. When you think about that, then you get a pretty idea of the scope of the job of the priests and prophets in the ISUPK. It is a monumental task to go throughout the entire planet to all of our people scattered in all the nations and give them an identity crisis. You know, like we have to go into Brazil and speak to brothers on the coast of Rio de Janeiro and tell them that they're Israelites. At the same time, we have to go over to, you know, the UK and Germany and England and all of these other places, Holland, all of these other places where there's Israelites and make them have an identity crisis. It's a huge task, man, and it's the task that the disciples took on and gave their lives for, man. It's the same task that these disciples have taken on and are willing to give their lives for, man. We go out and we provoke our people to have identity crisis. A lot of times people see us on the street, man, and they say, these brothers are over the top. These brothers are loud. These brothers are vulgar. These brothers are displaying imagery that is unsettling. It's meant to be that way, sis. Your Christian pastor is going to, soothsay you all the way into the gutter. We have to be, shocking, because we need to shock you into a full-blown identity crisis. We need you to see a camp sign and then go home, sit down on your bed, and rethink, how is it possible that you've been working for this company for 30 years and then got one damn promotion, and here's Cindy come in with her blonde hair and freckles, and she's the greatest thing since goddamn Hillary Clinton. We need you to rethink that and have a full-blown identity crisis. Then we need you to come into the school and ask all the questions you need in order to repair your identity crisis and begin to move in the right direction of knowing exactly who you are and who your people are. It's an amazing thing, man, and it is a practice that has been set forth since 1969 and carried on by Commanding General Yohana and the brothers in the ISUPK. Give him a hand, man.
Damn right.
Your Christian pastor is sitting in that church with every disgusting LGBTQ member he can find down in the village. He is not concerned about whether or not you know your true identity. He's not concerned about whether or not you can identify yourself in the Bible. Who is concerned about whether or not you can identify yourself in the Bible? Who is concerned about that? Hollywood certainly is. Like Hollywood has how long has Hollywood been established? Well, 120 years? In 120 years, they couldn't accidentally make Christ a black man? Like, you would think it would have happened by accident by now. But go ahead, sir.
Interestingly enough, an Amalekite put it in two of his sitcoms.
Two of his sitcoms?
An Amalekite named Norman Leary. You probably know that name very well.
Norman Leary, yeah.
Yeah. You remember JJ took that picture, made that one of the wino.
Yeah.
What did Florida say? And this is so crazy. If Jesus was black, the Bible would have said so. But now the Bible does say so.
Right.
And that Jewish man actually let him read Revelations 1:14.
On the show?
Yes.
Right.
Word? I don't remember. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, I wish we could pull that.
Right.
They read that on the show, huh? I don't think I can show it on here though.
Why not?
Yeah. We don't want to get flagged, man. But that's something serious, man. That's something serious. And let me tell you something. Stuff like that would slip through.
Right.
Stuff like that would slip through.
If I may.
Go ahead.
Since we're on the topic of identity crisis, I know you know about Jet.
What's that?
Jet magazine.
Good, bring it out.
Oh, okay. Jet made a black Jesus. They got complaints from black people. Black people mailed in the Jet I think it was the 60s, the late 60s. They had a black Jesus as the cover of Jet magazine. Black people mailed in pictures of white Jesus.
Hold up. I got to see if I can pull this up. That's crazy.
Jet magazine, black Jesus.
Yo, like that's something serious right there, man. Like, yo, but again, man, it's so heavy. So yeah, I'm seeing it right here. I see the Good Times joint too.
Yeah. 1969, that's your holy grail, Ebony. I'm sorry, Ebony.
Right. Yeah, I see it right there. Wow, and that came out in 1969. That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. That's like a whole class right there.
Right.
And yo, let me tell you something. And that looks, and let me tell you something. That picture right, yo, let me get that picture on the screen. I gotta get that. That's a hell of a picture right there.
Right, and it's accurate.
That is very accurate. That's very accurate. Let me get that up here real quick.
If I may, while you do that, the reason I say it's so beautiful is because we always get the black-faced white boy.
Right.
With the nice stringy hair.
Right.
But now you got the brother with the actual fro.
No, yeah. This is an actual fro. Like this right here. I'm glad you brought this out, man. This came out in 1969 as well.
Oh.
Like, that's crazy, man. Let me get this up here real quick. So Jet Magazine hopped out there, and then black people complained about this. Like that, like if that's not a symptom of identity crisis,
Right.
you know, I don't know what is. Like when you send out shocking imagery of Christ being black, you know, there's no telling how people might react. But what a beautiful thing, man. I love that picture. I'm gonna get it up on the screen. I just emailed it. I'm gonna get that on the screen real quick. Go ahead, sir.
I know you said you've never seen the Boondocks, right?
I never seen the Boondocks.
No, have you ever seen it?
Of course.
Okay, so you remember the Christmas special?
Yeah.
The Adventures of Black Jesus.
The Black Jesus, right.
Right. So what I find so funny is that Huey had this contract in writing from this white man. No one could stop him.
Right.
The Adventures of Black Jesus. Some white people came in there real quick and said, "We love everything, just one problem. Jesus can't be black."
Right.
But he took that contract like he was doing something. They ripped that up like
right. Right, I remember that.
Like, yo, it's so crazy because it's like, you know, that's the one thing they'll never do. A black Jesus, God. If I may, I think we might have an accurate black Saint Nicholas before we have an accurate black Jesus.
Listen, man. This black Jesus right here, looks very accurate. I mean, he doesn't appear to be in the warlike apparel.
Right.
But just with the skin tone and the fro, you know what I'm saying? Like I rock with that. You know what I'm saying? I tell you one thing, I rock with that more 100 times more than I rock with sexy Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like that sexy Jesus pick, I don't rock with that pick. You know what I'm saying? I don't rock with that pick. This pick right here is something, you know what I'm saying, is fairly decent. You know what I'm saying? And I would have to scrutinize it a little bit more, but just on the surface, you know, it looks like, man. So big shout out to them brothers and sisters at Jet Magazine. They tried it. They tried it, man. And I'm so happy the officer brought that out, man, because it's so important. Like, yo, if you black and Hispanic or Native American Indian, man, if you're not supporting the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, you are doing yourself a disservice. Right. You are doing yourself a disservice, man. Jet Magazine was one of the most powerful companies, businesses, and media in the world, in the entire world. They tried to show the world black Jesus, and everything went haywire. In order to reveal the true image of Christ to the world, you must be a true priest and prophet and disciple of Christ in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana, man. We are the only people qualified to give that sort of info. First of all, we were the first. We were the first. And the only ones qualified to give that sort of heavy information that would, cause people to go into a full-blown identity crisis and come after you. You have to be a professional. You're only going to find those professionals in the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, man. You have any idea how many times Commander General Yohana has been attacked for telling people that Christ is black? All Jet Magazine could have just like that came out in 1969. You know what I'm saying? So it's very important that we take a look at both of those things, because here we having the truth being established, and at the same time we got Jet Magazine coming out with imagery of black Jesus. Like Jet Magazine, for all their money and power, could not promote or push the image that they were trying to. They could not do it, man. Here we are in 2023, still promoting somebody turn the camera. No, I don't want you to turn the camera because all that stuff is over there. But since 1969, right here on the wall, ISUPK headquarters, is the true image of Christ from out the Bible. In 2023, we are still teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians the true image of Christ. It is protocol. Every single camp that goes out across the entire world must have an image, the true image of Christ. Right. It's protocol. What Jet Magazine failed to do, a bunch of broke Negroes was able to accomplish. Right. We are the prophets of God. Right. Go ahead, sir.
And if I may, just let you know something for any stupid idiot who wants to stand by a sexy Jesus. A celebrity and the greatness of this world will never get our aims and our goals completed.
Right.
That magazine had black people by the beard. So
right.
Right. All of black society turned against Jet Magazine.
Right.
For Jet Magazine trying to say maybe God could look like you.
Right. Give me Matthew 10 and 14.
Con.
Go ahead, sir. I'm listening.
Con. And then one last thing I just wanted to say, what you said is so heavy, it's that every camp goes out and does it. Every camp must have that sign.
Right.
One thing, you be in here long enough, you notice. If you ever watch Commanding General Yohana teach, Commanding General Yohana is a great man who's a scholar in every subject.
Right.
Every time you will ever hear Commanding General Yohana teach, he only ever teaches one subject. He says, "Where is that sign of Caesar?"
Damn right.
And all you are going to hear for the next hour is him and that sign. Pick that sign up. Give me that sign again. I want to drop it again.
Right.
This is the true image of Christ. Daniel 7 and 9, Revelations 1 and 13.
Right.
All he goes into.
Right. Damn. Yo, give him a hand, man. Word. That's heavy. Yo, that's so heavy right there. That is so heavy right there. Because Commander General Yohana, being a master in the scriptures that he is, Commander General Yohana, who taught General Muhammad, right. You know what I'm saying, who taught Captain Tazariak, like, right. I mean, you looking at Commander General Yohana, man, it's like, you know what I'm saying, for a man of his stature and his scholarly, he goes out on the streets and his primary concern is to invoke a full-blown identity crisis in every black and Hispanic who walks past that camp. Right. Know what I mean? Like Commander General Yohana picks up the picture of Caesar Borgia and throws it in your face so that you can go home and have a full-blown identity crisis. It is a glorious thing, man. Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to bring this out because you brought this out. There was a bunch of Marines, sisters, and I think a few brothers with them. He brought out the statistic of how a good percentage of those sisters are raped inside of the white man's military.
Right.
All they could do is look back, kind of smile, and just keep walking.
Damn. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's another heavy point, man. You damn right, man. Like, don't ever think, you know what I'm saying, that we are not professionals, man. Everything we do here, we do it for a reason. We do it because we get it directly out of the scriptures. Right. And we do it because the men above us have set forth the path that is going to lead us to the kingdom. That path set by Christ himself, man. Like, we are professionals on the streets. We are professionals when we do these classes. Y'all looking for some beautiful, sparkling, purple outfit or some glistening TD Jakes with a half a gallon of sweat pouring down his disgusting shirt and thinking that this is the greatest thing that you can see. No, man. The greatest thing that you can see is a young black or Hispanic man having a full-blown goddamn identity crisis and is shaken to the bone when he finds out that it is him and his people that are the chosen people of God. When he is dropped to his knees and makes the decision to drop every disgusting sin, every disgusting drug, every disgusting white woman, every disgusting holiday, every disgusting practice that he has been taught in this disgusting nation since he was born, he is going to drop it. That is the gospel. That is the miracle. That is the identity crisis that the ISUPK are masters at giving brothers and sisters when they encounter us. Read what you got, Ak.
Khan on Khan. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you, not hear your words, when ye depart.
Salakia, read the verse up. Read the verse 13.
Khan on Khan. Verse 13. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it be it not worthy, let your peace return to you.
Well, this is Christ speaking to the disciples, man. This is Christ giving disciples instructions on what to do when they go out. No different than the men above us give us instructions every Saturday morning before we go out. Read it again, what Christ said.
Verse 13. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it.
Keep going.
But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you.
Let your peace return to you. Keep going.
Verse 14. And whosoever shall not receive you.
And whosoever shall not receive you, whosoever shall call into Jet Magazine and say, we can't stand the sight of this blood, this black woolly haired Jesus that y'all put on the cover. Keep going.
Nor hear your words.
Nor do they want to hear a word you got to say. Keep going.
When ye depart out of that house or city.
When you turn your back from those disgusting bastards.
Shake off the dust off your feet.
Shake off the dust of your feet. You read that very well. Shake off the dust of your feet. Damn right. Give him a hand, man. You read that. You read it the way I would have read it. Most High Christ. Most High Christ. Damn right, man. Shake off the dust of your feet, man. And you got to keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Some of our people are just not going to have an identity crisis, man. Some of our people are not just gonna, you know, come to the realization. Some of our people cannot depart with our oppressor, man. We saw this happen in Egypt. You know? Go ahead, sir. Okay, no sweat, no sweat. Yeah, man.
Because with this class mainly, this subject tonight is the basis of the scriptures, really. Like, there's a lot of points you could start our history, but our history, really, the most beautiful thing about our history is our history really starts with a coon who for 1 second had a sense of love for his people and committed a murder.
Right.
And went on the run. Right?
Right.
And 20 years later, all these ancient fairy tales that his mama taught him and that his people taught him and that he always heard about. One day, the God of our ancestors, the God of the universe, is going to come and we ain't going to be niggas and spicks no more.
Right.
We are going to be a people that are respected. And what's called, because this all was prophesied.
Right.
God said we would be enslaved. And what's called, even though you see us on World Star acting a fool, even though you see us in these streets on YouTube being killed by our oppressor,
right,
we will have the last laugh in the end.
Damn right.
Guess what? We had the last laugh. That brother went up, lost a sheep, went into a mountain, and now, brother, all that is true.
Right.
Your race is something special.
Right.
And Moses had an identity crisis.
Damn right, man. Damn right. Give him a hand, man. Moses did have an identity crisis, man. Moses did certainly have an identity crisis, man. And Moses went on the run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Moses went on the run, man. Damn, that's heavy what you brought out. You know what I'm saying? Moses certainly did have an identity crisis, man. So, you know, it's important for our viewers to understand, man, that A lot of the stuff that we do is for that purpose, man. It's so that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians can have an identity crisis, question their identity, and then begin to ask questions as to who they are according to the Bible, man. And then at that point, we'd be happy to tell you. Now, it's also important to understand that you having an identity crisis is not all the way your fault. You know? I mean, of course, you know, we do fall under the curses, but let us not get a single class finished without acknowledging the crimes of our disgusting oppressor. It must be done. It is our culture. Now, as the brother just read, the 5 points of identity crisis that we went over came up by this German named Erikson, right? I want y'all to read something with me real quick about this Erikson guy, because this Erikson guy is an excellent example of why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians suffer from identity theft. One moment. Okay. So yeah, so boom, real quick. This Erikson dude. So the Erikson dude, this article is about the psychological term. For other uses, see identity crisis and personality crisis in psychology. Identity crisis is a stage theory of identity development where it involves resolution of conflict over 8 stages of the lifespan. The term was coined by German psychologist Erik Erikson. The stage of psychological development in which identity crisis may occur is called identity cohesion versus role confusion. During this stage, adolescents are faced with physical growth, sexual maturity, and integrating ideas of themselves about what others think of them. Adolescents therefore form their self-image and endure the task of resolving the crisis of their basic ego identity. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the important part. Erikson's own interest in identity begin in childhood. I want to make sure y'all listening to this. This is very, very important. Okay? Erikson's own interest in identity begin in childhood. Born an Ashkenazi Jewish, okay? This Erikson guy is an Ashkenazi Jewish person. Erikson felt that he was an outsider. His later studies of cultural life among the Yurok of Southern California and the Sioux of South Dakota helped formalize Erikson's ideas about identity development and identity crisis. Erikson described those going through an identity crisis as exhibiting confusion. Exhibiting confusion. Why is this so important to understand, Black man, Hispanic man? You got Revelations 2 and 9?
I'll get that right now. Call him on concert.
The reason why this is so important to understand, Black man, is because here we have a Jewish man and a self-proclaimed Ashkenazi Jewish man who is a psychologist and who coined the term identity theft or identity crisis. Salakia. He coined the term identity crisis. And through his studies, he went to study the Yurok people, which are Native Americans from the tribe of Gad, and the Sioux Indians of South Dakota. I personally, myself, know Sioux Indians here in New York, grew up with them in the Bronx. This disgusting devil went to the very Israelites whose identity he was stealing in order to get a better idea of identity crisis. Black man, you have to understand something. When you go through identity crisis, you begin to question certain things. You come into the ISUPK, you get right with the Lord, or maybe you just, go do something else. When our oppressor goes through identity crisis, he just goes and steals the identity of the best group of people he can find, rewrite history, and then, kill them off, unalive them, because that's how he gets through his identity crisis. What a horrible and disgusting thing for some disgusting oppressor from Germany who's claiming to be the chosen people of God and studying identity crisis goes and studies the oppressed and broken chosen people of God in order to come to his conclusions about identity crisis. It's a horrible and disgusting thing, man. Let's hear what Christ said. Read what you got.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
Whoa. What color are these words in?
Red.
What does that mean, Ak?
That means that Yahweh Shah himself is talking.
Damn right. Give him a hand. These are the words of our king. Read it again from the top. What did he say?
I know thy works and tribulation and poverty.
But Christ said he knows our poverty. You think Christ knows Eric Everson's poverty? Eric Everson's people are not poor. They are filthy rich. How do I know? Because every goddamn check I get got a huge piece of taxes that comes out and sent straight to Israel. The United States gives them more funding than all the other countries in the world combined. Like, you black men thinking you getting money out here, like the Jewish man is still spending money from 44. Like black people talk about, I'm spending money from 88. The Jewish man is spending money from 44. He cashing Holocaust checks from 44. Why would Christ know their poverty? They're not poor. Who's poor? You're poor. I'm poor. They're not poor. Christ says he understands our poverty. Keep going.
And I know the blasphemy.
No. Go back to poverty.
I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
We are what?
But thou art rich.
We are what?
But thou art rich.
Christ said he know we're poor, but guess what, black man? Guess what, Hispanic man? Guess what, Native Indian man? We are what?
But thou art rich.
Christ said we are filthy rich. Christ said we are rich beyond anything you can imagine. Keep going.
And I know the blasphemy.
The what?
The blasphemy.
The what?
The blasphemy.
He's going around to the chosen people of God, telling them that they're not the chosen people of God, that he's the chosen people of God. What did Christ say? Read it again.
And I know the blasphemy.
Christ knows the blasphemy of who?
Of them, which say they are Jews.
They say what?
They are Jews.
They say what?
They are Jews.
Eric Everson said he's a goddamn Ashkenazi Jew. What did Christ say? Keep going.
And are not.
What?
And are not.
They are what?
And are not.
They are not. Christ said that they are not the chosen people of God. This disgusting devil goes directly to the chosen people of God, claiming that he's the chosen people of God. Christ said he knows the blasphemy of that disgusting devil Erik Erikson, and his theories on identity crisis. If you want a true understanding of what identity crisis is, if you want to benefit from the great things that will come about in your life after you have suffered through your identity crisis, come into the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Go ahead, Ak.
Khan. And not only does it say that they are not, but it says they are the synagogue of Satan.
Damn right. Keep saying it again.
But they are the synagogue of Satan.
Read it again, Ak Salakia.
Come on, Khan.
Yo, next time, all you got to do is say, there's more on this. Do you want the rest of this?
Khan.
All right, keep it going.
You want me to start from the top, sir?
You can start wherever you want.
I know that works in tribulation and poverty,
but
thou art in rich.
Right?
And I know the blasphemy.
Christ said he knows the blasphemy. Christ says he knows every goddamn word Erik Erikson ever said. Keep going.
Of them which say they are Jews.
And
are not.
Erik Erikson says he's a Jew. He says it. He is not. That's what Christ said. Christ said Erik Erikson is a goddamn liar. Christ said he is not. Keep going.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
They are who?
The synagogue of Satan.
Erik Erikson who?
The synagogue of Satan.
Bill Gates who?
The synagogue of Satan.
Steven Spielberg who?
The synagogue of Satan.
All them goddamn Hollywood directors and producers and directors and all those actors who never made Christ black in one film. Say it again.
But are the synagogue of Satan.
Those are not my words. Those are not my son's words. Those are the words of Christ. Christ said that you are the synagogue of Satan. You are the synagogue of Satan. And it's because of your identity theft, it has led blacks and Hispanics to have an identity crisis just to come back to our true identity as the chosen people of God. It is an absolute horrible thing. And yet, every day we see the Most High working to end this disgusting place. That way, our people can come to a day in which you won't need an identity crisis. Your identity, your culture, your history, your scriptures will be the status quo. Your law from out of the Bible will be the law of the land. That day is soon coming, man. What else you got? You got a question?
No, actually, you're good, sir. You're good.
No, go ahead. If you got a question, go ahead.
I just wanted to say something. Some brothers are confused.
No. If you got a question, let me know.
Okay, yeah.
Listen, man. What we are teaching here today is the importance of understanding why our people have to be shocked in order to come back to their true culture, to their true identity, man. It's a very important thing, man. And it's one that we have to go out of our way to teach ourselves. It's one that we have to go out of our way to teach our children. And it's something that we have to work at every single day diligently, man. Every single day diligently, because after you have the identity crisis, then you have to go throughout the world you once known, now as a stranger, as an outsider, as a righteous man, You have to go back into the world you once known and be righteous. You have to have the Lord with you, man. You must have the Lord with you. If not, you can be gobbled up. Officer Shala always says, give him a hand, man. He said, you got to fight those demons in the dark. Word. You got to fight those demons in the dark. Let me get one more scripture, man. Get up out of here, man. Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
Khan.
Deuteronomy 28 and 68, man. Deuteronomy 28 and 68 must be the most quoted scripture in Israel, man. Like it is a scripture that predicts the transatlantic slave trade. It is a scripture that predicts our condition here in America so accurately that it can't be denied, you know? It's a very heavy scripture, man, and it's one that the ISUPK, you know, put out there to the world in order for people to understand that our history is in the Bible. It's very, very important, you know? And you know, when I was growing up as a kid, especially coming up in the Christian church, you don't hear about Deuteronomy 28 and 68. You don't hear about slavery much. Like, isn't it crazy how in the Black Christian church, you don't hear about slavery much? It's such a weird thing, you know? I mean, they do read Exodus, right? You would at least think they would, you know, seldomly relate the fact that we were slaves to the fact that, you know, the Israelites in the Bible were slaves. No, they don't do that. They certainly don't do it often enough, man. But we do it as much as possible. And we've done it so much since 1969, you know, that a lot of people have heard this, man. A lot of people has had the opportunity and the privilege of hearing a priest and prophet from out of this school teach Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It's a very important thing, man. You know, in sales and marketing, we have a saying that says the story only gets old to the storyteller. You know, it's a little joke that we have because a lot of times you'll be pitching a client and a client may ask you a question and you answer the question and then you go to tie the client down. So you ask the client, well, you know, does that make sense? And the client may, no, that it really doesn't make sense. I don't understand. You say, okay. The average person in their mind, they would want to think to re-explain it a different way. But in sales, you don't re-explain it a different way. You simply explain it the same exact way, you know? Because the story only gets old to the storyteller, especially when you sell a guy on something. He bought something and he comes back and now you're trying to sell him on something again. You don't come up with an all new pitch. You sell him the same exact thing you sold him the first time because that is what makes him buy every single time. Everything he's ever bought in his life came from a collection of someone pushing those buttons in the same exact way that leads him right into buying something. So the story only gets old to the storyteller, man. And that is the same mentality behind Deuteronomy 28 and 68. We are going to say it and we are going to teach it every single time the same way, the same breakdown from 1969 till 3069 or to when Christ returns. You know, I read this scripture to a sister at camp a few weeks ago, man, and she broke down like she was just absolutely, you know, taken aback. You know, she was just overwhelmed with emotion, and she was a Benjamite sister, but she was overwhelmed with emotion when she heard that. And I told her, I said, how did your people get to Tobago? You know? And she said, we come upon ships. And I'm like, yeah. And she was just, she was overwhelmed with emotion at hearing this, man. And it was, and when she walked away, I thought to myself, like, damn, like, Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes we don't have to break down every single scripture, you know what I'm saying, to get our people to the point of having that identity crisis, to get our people to the point of being able to see the plain and simple truth from out the Bible. This Bible is only for black people. Like you could break down Deuteronomy 28 and 68 to a white person 100,000 times. They'll get mixed up every single time. Ships? What do you mean ships? I mean, technically, it's not a ship. It's really, a rowboat when you think about it. During the colonial period. No. White people have no business reading Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Except if it's a part of a boot kiss. If it leads to a boot kiss, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But they will never understand our oppression. So trying to get them to understand Deuteronomy 28 and 68 is just a waste of time. Move along. I heard Captain Tazariak battle this Ashkenaz, Jewish man one time, talking about Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Like he was just like Egypt. Like he just couldn't get it, and they not gonna get it. But Rakatha Yahweh Shah, that they don't get it. By the time they get it, it's going to be too late for them. Read what you got, Ak.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Egypt, what are we talking about here? What are we talking about Egypt here? Go to Exodus 20. Hold that, meaning don't lose your place there. And go to Exodus 20.
Khan.
What do you mean, Egypt? Egypt's all the way in Africa. They can't be talking about the transatlantic slave trade. He said he was going to take you to Egypt. Y'all not in Egypt. Y'all in America. America is Egypt spiritually. America was built on every disgusting, idea that Egypt was built on. So, even worse.
Exodus 1.
Give me Exodus 20 and 1.
Got you. Come on.
I mean, what you refer to as Egypt is not the name of the country in which the Israelites were in bondage. It's not the name of the country that you will find the Great Pyramids. Egypt just simply means this. Read what you got.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 20, verse 1. And God spake all these words, saying, verse 2, I am the Lord thy God.
I am who?
I am the Lord thy God.
I am who?
I am the Lord thy God.
Keep going.
Which I brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
He brought us out of where?
Out of the land of Egypt.
Out of where?
Out of the land of Egypt.
Which is known as, keep going.
Out of the house of bondage.
The house of what?
The house of bondage.
The house of what?
The house of bondage.
What you know as Egypt is simply the house of bondage. The place of your captivity. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, welcome to Egypt. This disgusting land of America. Go back to 28 and 68 in Deuteronomy, Baba Kashar.
I have it, sir.
Keep going. No, take it from the top.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
The Most High God told black people that he was going to take you into bondage with ships. You were going to go into bondage on ships. Who did that happen to, black man? I'm asking you, who did that happen to? Who went into slavery on ships?
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Damn right. The children of Israel went into slavery on ships, cargo ships. This is an undeniable fact. Like you got these dudes online, these Aboriginal, like I talk to some of these dudes, man. They tell us that not a single Negro came over here on a ship from Africa. Like, as far as they're concerned, all black people are already over here. And the transatlantic slave trade is a made-up fairy tale by our oppressor to trick us into believing that we were not over here. Like, the stupidest thing you could ever hear of. Like, slavery lasted long enough. Like, there's an entire, layer in the Earth's settlement that can confirm the transatlantic slave trade. It's a silly thing to think about, man. And when you do that, you are, going out of your way to not acknowledge one of the greatest, prophecies, global prophecies in the Bible. Keep going on.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
We shall be sold unto our enemies, man. Like, who did that happen to? Who did that happen to? It's such a silly thing, man. Like, your Christian pastor, black people have no idea what is in store for their pastors. You should pity your pastor. You should not pity your pastor. He is disgusting. But follow what I'm saying. Your pastor has a punishment coming to him unlike anything. Your pastor has the same punishment coming to him as your disgusting oppressor. Your pastor will sit there and skip over Deuteronomy 28 and 68 his whole goddamn career. Your pastor knows it. Your pastor knows the breakdown. He refuses to read this to you. Your pastor refuses to let you know that your entire history is in this Bible. It's a horrible thing, man. And I can't wait for the day where blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians charge our leaders. We go out and charge our leaders with the crimes that they have committed against our people, man. Word. It's a horrible thing. You got any more on that?
And no man shall buy you.
No man has redeemed us out of this slavery, man. No man has been able to redeem us out of this. The closest to redemption we have gotten so far is the priests and prophets in the ISUPK and the Commander General Yohana working diligently on the streets of America as well as the entire world to shock all blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians into a state of identity crisis, a state in which they have to go back and reconsider their identity according to the Bible. It is one of the most important things we do, and we will continue to do it on the streets, online, in classes, and face-to-face until our King returns. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I'm going to go make some TikToks and be as shocking and vulgar as I can as to shock my audience into identity theft. And then hopefully I can teach them Deuteronomy 28 and 68. You got anything else to add, sir? Big shout out to my boy here, man, reading strong and mighty for his dad. Give him a hand. That's right, man. Listen, man, we're going to get up out of here, man. Make sure you open your phone this very moment. Go to TikTok. You don't got TikTok? Somebody told me that the other day. Yo, I just don't got TikTok, man. I just don't download TikTok. Let me explain something to you, man. If you don't download TikTok, that means you don't want to get out of captivity. You know? Like, we're just going to simply stay in captivity if you don't want to download TikTok. You know? 150 million of the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel are on TikTok every day. Please, listen, handing out a flyer and Kennedy Fried Chicken is a noble thing. But if you're not on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and X, you are missing the truth. If you're trying to reach blacks, Hispanics, Native American Indians, if you're trying to push this thing, man, you must be online. If you want some of the most official content, coming out of the ISUPK, you must be online, man. You must go to HQ and check it out. You must follow ISUPK Washington, D.C. Big shout out to Captain Mashak and Officer Barack and the brothers down there in D.C., man. And we had the brothers up here this weekend on the show, man. Them brothers are serious about this internet game, man. You know? So listen, man, get online, get on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, man. Like, share, subscribe. This is where it's at, man. This is where it's at. This is our opportunity and ability to reach brothers and sisters all over the entire world and to shock them into a state of identity crisis, which will allow them to come back to their true identity. That is the goal, man. It's happening in person and it's happening online. Make sure you go and like, share, and subscribe. That's going to be HQ_Harlem. Of course, we're in the building, man. Shalom, Yahweh Shemel Shabaraka Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemel Thumb to the sisters. Shalom.